Welcome to Episode 7, where we focus on Python fundamentals, functions, and clean code. In this video, we move beyond basic scripting to build more robust, professional-grade code. The Data Science course is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team and Technovative AI. Today, we're transitioning from repetitive, copy-pasted loops to named, callable functions. We'll explore why this shift is essential for writing reusable, readable code and how to implement it effectively. By the end of this video, you will understand why functions exist to eliminate repetition, learn how to write functions with parameters and return values, and adopt clean coding habits that scale. Copy-pasting code might seem fast, but it creates technical debt. When you have the same logic in 4 different places, you have 4 times the risk of bugs. Today, we fix the root cause. This is the DRY principle. Don't repeat yourself. Using functions allows you to fix logic once, apply it everywhere, and keep your code clean and manageable. Think of a function as a machine with a label. You provide inputs, the machine processes them, and it returns a useful output. You don't need to understand the complex internal mechanics to use it. Naming your logic is a power move. By turning a complex block into a single named function, you simplify your thought process. This is the essence of abstraction in software development. You've been using library functions like len or print since episode 3. Today, you start writing your own, moving from a consumer of code to someone who packages logic for future use. In this code along, we'll take your existing filter and count loop, wrap it in a function definition, and see how easy it is to call that logic across multiple datasets. Here is the structure. We give our logic a name, define a parameter, and use a return statement to pass the result out. Note the use of return instead of print, which is crucial for data pipelines. The payoff is clear. If a bug arises, you only have to fix it in one place. Your function handles all calls automatically, demonstrating the real-world value of the DRY principle. We can add even more versatility by introducing parameters with default values. This allows your single function to handle a wider variety of scenarios without breaking existing code. Default parameters turn your function into a flexible tool. It stays backwards compatible, meaning old calls continue to work perfectly, while new calls can benefit from added functionality. Be careful with the classic trap, print versus return. Remember, print is for showing values to humans, while return provides values for the next step of your data pipeline. Let's demonstrate how using print instead of return breaks your code so you can clearly see the distinction in real time. Understanding the difference between print and return is vital. While print is just for display, return hands the data back so your pipeline can actually process it. Python also allows you to return multiple values at once, packed neatly into a tuple. This is incredibly helpful when you need to send back a complete summary of your data. A brief detour on scope. Any variables created inside a function are local. They live and die with that function, which means you never have to worry about accidentally overwriting outside data. Now, let's pivot to clean code. We aren't talking about aesthetics. We're focusing on 3 habits that will save you massive headaches when you build your first pipeline in Module 8. Habit 1 is choosing names that reveal intent. Your function name is its most important piece of documentation. If the name is clear, your code becomes self-explanatory. Habit 2 is the one-line docstring. Wrapped in triple quotes at the top of your function, this becomes official Python documentation that pops up whenever you or your teammates need a quick reminder. Habit 3 is keeping functions small. If you can't name your function in 3 words or fewer, it's likely trying to do too many things. Don't be afraid to split it up. Why learn these habits now? Because fixing a simple function today is free, but refactoring a complex, messy 300-line pipeline in the future is a major renovation. For this episode, we're sticking to the essentials: function definitions, parameters, and return statements. We're leaving more complex topics like decorators for later, so we can master the fundamentals. Your final deliverable is a personal utility toolkit. We want you to build 3 specific, reusable functions that you can plug directly into your capstone project. You'll be building 3 distinct tools: a counter for specific records, a totaler for summing numeric fields, and a filter function that isolates specific data for further analysis. Use this checklist to ensure your work is ready for production. Every function needs a clear name, a docstring, a default parameter, and a proper return statement. By building this toolkit now, you're creating a foundation for your capstone. You'll be able to import your own code and build complex pipelines on top of your own custom-made tools. Everything we've covered today fits together. Abstraction, dry, and clean naming all contribute to code that remains readable and maintainable, even as your projects grow. To wrap up, remember that every part of a function has a specific purpose. Intentional naming, parameter flexibility, and clear return statements are the hallmarks of great Python code. Let's look at a practical refactoring example. On the left, we have repetitive loops for counting active customers. On the right, we've replaced them with a single countActive function. The after version is clearer, more concise, and significantly easier to maintain. This is what scope looks like in practice. The local count variable inside our function is completely independent of any count variable you might have in your notebook's main scope. This encapsulation keeps your data safe and avoids accidental overwrites. Here are 3 takeaways you should memorize. First, copy-paste is a debt, while functions are the payment plan. Second, use return to pass values, not print. Third, remember that professional libraries are just collections of functions, similar to the ones you're building now. Visualizing the dry principle shows the risk of copy-pasting code. When a bug appears in a copied block, you have to find and fix it everywhere. If you use a function, you make one fix and every caller gets the benefit instantly. Some advanced topics, like lambda functions, type hints, and decorators, are real and powerful, but we aren't covering them today. We are focusing on your foundation, and these tools will be ready for you when you need them. We are now at episode 7, the final step before our Module 1 capstone. You have covered data structures, logic, and loops, and now you have the tools to package your logic into reusable components. Your work today is a vital investment. In episode 8, you will import these functions directly into your capstone project, allowing you to build on your own code before you eventually start building on industry-standard libraries like NumPy. A quick note for those practicing. When demonstrating the print versus return trap, let the error happen. Seeing a function return none when you expected a value is the most effective way for a student to learn why return is mandatory. Here is our pacing guide for this session. We recommend spending about 15 to 18 minutes total, with the core of the time dedicated to the live refactoring code-along, as that is where the most significant learning happens. Everything converges in episode 8. It will be your first real analysis, involving messy data and complex questions, relying entirely on the skills you have developed in this module. See you there.